Hi all. So a while ago on YouTube, I stumbled down a wormhole of small kitchen appliance reviews. As I was looking to buy an air fryer and perhaps maybe a pressure cooker, that's when I stumbled across one of the worst YouTube chefs of all time. His name is Jack Scalfani, as I like to call him, Jack Salmonella Scalfani. I watch video after video of him butcher, sometimes quite literally, recipes. Imagine driving slowly past a multi-car pileup on the interstate. That's my face as I watched him teach the internet how to make partially cooked meals of varying types and taking awful and unneeded shortcuts to recipes that are already quick to prepare. The absolute horror of Jack's lazy man chefing, air quote, techniques to my boyfriend Tom. And now, since we can't unsee it, we are opening your eyes to it as well. I'm Michelle, and I welcome you to join us for this horrific journey, better known as Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man. Welcome back to Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man. Stay tuned for the remix, folks.
We're coming in hot with another episode. After the Super Bowl doubleheader we released earlier this week, as is normal, Jack is on his Tuesday cycle of releasing videos. So of course there's a new video and it's Tuesday. So we're here to tear down this most recent episode, which is Southern Hamburger Steaks in a Brown Mushroom Gravy.
Southern New Hamburger University?
Yeah, something like that.
I see. It's a degree-granting institution?
Only if you buy your way to the top.
A degree in the botched culinary arts?
Well, some housekeeping items before we get to this first episode back after the superb owl. Jack has had a video that we've previously reviewed taken down off of YouTube this past week.
Why would that be?
Take a wild guess. It's something we definitely mentioned in the episode.
Oh, is this the one where he stole the thumbnail directly from the #1 search result for the food item he was cooking?
Correctamundo.
From Delish.com, he stole their picture of taco soup for his YouTube thumbnail?
Yeah, and since Delish is owned by Hearst, which is a huge media conglomerate, they weren't too happy about that and filed a DMCA claim on Jack's video.
Wah wah.
So it got taken down and got re-uploaded yesterday, I think, which was Monday.
Which he did not explain. He's just like, I accidentally deleted it, so I had to put it back.
But he didn't. He went on an Instagram rant, and somebody had gotten a screenshot of his Instagram rant and then deleted it. Interestingly, though, he has disabled the comments on the new video. But in addition to that, his Twitter page is now locked. You cannot communicate with Jack through his comment section on his videos. Now you can't communicate with him on Twitter. Well, we couldn't anyway because we were blocked. But that leaves only one avenue to get to Jack, which is Facebook. Now, interestingly, he is releasing Saturday episodes now that tell you how to make money on YouTube and how to market yourself and how to manage your social media.
But what if I have more questions? Is he allowing comments on those videos?
No. So if you want to reach Jack to ask him any questions about any content he's providing, with regard to marketing yourself online, good luck trying to get a hold of him online, because he's pretty much blocked every way of communicating with him.
Well, that's pretty standard. All YouTube creators or media content creators in 2020, everybody blocks their audience feedback. There's no reason to have that, right?
Right.
No?
No.
Just him?
Just him.
Just him? He's the only one that doesn't take... even celebrities who have social media presences sometimes respond. I've gotten Ice-T to retweet me a couple times, and other celebrities have liked some stuff.
And even celebrities get their own hater, comment section. Nobody likes everybody or what they do or agrees with every point of view that's out there. But they respond, whether they're trolling or nice comments, and I think Chrissy Teigen is a good example of responding to trolls. Jack seems to be very fragile and can't take constructive criticism. Or, in our case, life-saving recipe tweaks. So you don't end up with pink chicken.
Like a lazy man.
Exactly. So, without further ado, we shall get into Southern Hamburger University of steaks in a brown mushroom gravy.
Yep. It is 8:44 p.m. on Tuesday the 4th. We started the video. This video was released 11 hours ago. It only has 2,000 views. Again, like we said, Jack seems to be losing viewers. It's an election year. Maybe he's losing videos to Iowa confusion videos, but maybe not. Because his last video barely had 4,000 or something. It was 4 days later when we watched it.
Yeah.
So we're trying it for you, folks. We're trying to get as close to a hot take as possible on this train wreck we call the Cooking with Jack show. Synchronize your watches. We are hitting play now. As Michelle pointed out to you, the first 30 seconds of this video are devoted to him pitching his own how to make money on YouTube video. Notice he doesn't say how to succeed at YouTube, how to find success on YouTube.
Right. He doesn't see viewers as, people wanting to learn. It's
open wallets.
Yes,
You are an open wallet to him. You're an income stream.
Yeah.
So he's going to quickly run through, he's got about 35 seconds of him talking about how he wants to teach you, because he's been in this YouTube game for a while. But of course you can't communicate with him.
Okay, so we're at the intro. So we have standard ingredients for, it's basically Swiss steak is what he's making. So ground meat, some onions, mushrooms, bone broth, breadcrumbs, egg, Worcestershire sauce, kitchen bouquet, which is liquid aminos, salt, and did I say flour? Breadcrumbs? Yeah. I can't tell. Oh, that's an egg in the middle.
He uses a lot of flour.
This shot is like blown out, like it's not white balanced or something.
Well, it's overexposed.
Overexposed, thank you.
Yeah, this one's more overexposed than the last one. When you see him dump the onions in, which he'll be doing here in a second. So
it's a little less granulated than usual. Okay, so he's dumping big chunks of bacon.
Cooked bacon into raw beef.
Is it cooked? I can't tell.
The bacon? Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said he fried. This is again, and I think we started to hit upon the mystery of what's happening here. Remember, Jack is paralyzed in his right hand. He's paralyzed basically from the shoulder joint down because of the second stroke that he had. So he's not able to do a lot of the things he used to do in the kitchen. And I think this is where his family members, his wife and his son, are helping out, and that's why they're just cutting. They're frying the bacon because he can't fry bacon.
Well, and oh god, what bothers me about this particular putting together of ingredients is he has the onions chopped so big.
Oh yeah, when he forms the patties, you can see big squares of white.
I know if I was making this for my kids and they saw onions that size in there, they'd be freaking out. So I would purposely, if I was making a recipe like this, put the onion through the food processor, make it like almost like a mush so it kind of melts into the meat. It's a better consistency, I think.
Yeah, the video is so overexposed, he has a plate of flour. You can't see the flour because the flour is just blowing out white.
And he has his pan too hot for what he's doing. So he cooks the hamburger patties, which is essentially what they are, is hamburger patties. And then after he's done with that, whatever liquid is left over, he uses to cook the onions in.
But first he splashes in like maybe about a third a cup of water, and it instantly vaporizes into steam. He's like, first he puts the water in before the onions, and then as soon as the water hits the pan's too hot, so the water evaporates. He's like, now I'm going to steam the onions. It's like, you can't steam the onions. Your water just boiled off.
So I guess now we're making the ingredients after he fries up all the patties and starts frying or sauteing or caramelizing the onions.
Here we are into the feedback loop. If you notice, he's using his OXO measuring cups, but all of those are being used for liquid ingredients this time out, and his dry ingredients have been measured out separately, hopefully using dry measuring cups because dry is usually smaller than liquid amounts. And he has those off to the side in smaller bowls. He wasn't doing that before.
So he's trying to make, I guess, the gravy that's going to go over the top of these patties. He's mixing all of his wet ingredients with flour, not cornstarch, as most people usually use to make a slurry. And it just looks lumpy as hell as he's stirring it. So I don't know.
Oh, and he's stirring with a dinner fork. I've seen him have a whisk before. I don't know where the whisk is.
Yeah, he doesn't have the whisk. So we don't know if the lumps get mushed out. It looks like they do after he pours it in, but you can't be too sure. And those patties, too, like he's putting them back in. That one in the back looks like a hockey puck. It's dark.
They're very thick.
Yeah.
Which people don't really like with their Salisbury steak or Swiss steak, whatever this is.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's adding the mushrooms now, which he mentions in the video. He said, "Oh, I forgot to add the munch." You hear somebody mumble in the background, And that's his son telling him, hey, idiot, you forgot to add the mushrooms to your mushroom gravy.
The other thing too that I wanted to mention here is
he's put his plate down. Tammy, his wife, is helping him plate it. Again, we have a white dish. It's funny, like for all the past 4 or 5 videos, they've been completely underexposed. This video, they're finally beginning to blow out the exposure, and this is when they decide to use all the white ingredients and the white plate.
So the bone broth that he uses in here. He uses more bone broth in this recipe than he did in the taco soup. Like, there's more liquid in this that doesn't require liquid, really, because it's just gravy. But he uses more liquid in this recipe than he uses in the soup with bone broth.
We're getting close to the end here, so of course he has his Convoy with Hope graphic up, but who's ever looking through the camera isn't really paying attention to the fact that the way the shot is framed, the Convoy with Hope graphic, which will be inserted in post, is going to be directly over the shot of the food.
I mean, we did get a view of it as Tammy was plating it up, but I mean, if you want to see where he bit into it or any of that, and I get it, like the point of having lower third is have enough text to quickly read it within a couple seconds and get it out of the way.
You shouldn't have 4 lines of lower third text.
Yeah, this is way too much, and the type is too small. And the Convoy of Hope colorization of those letters is hard to read on the background too.
Well, you never put red text on blue background. They call that flashing.
Yeah, well, it looks like hell.
Yeah, I mean you can, but you have to stroke it in white or put a really dark drop shadow behind it. Mm-hmm. If you notice, because some of you like us watch Jack for the mukbang, that reaction video where he shoves the food in his mouth and goes, he does a little gentle mooing. In this one, he knows the food is piping hot, as he calls it. He knows the food is too hot, but he's just trying to rush through making these videos now, and he takes a big bite, and it's way hotter than he was prepared for. And you hear him bang the fork against the cutting board. He's like, it's more pain than his usual gastronomic ecstasy.
Well, he probably melted about 3 layers off the roof of his mouth, so.
Oh yeah, because he cooked it too fast. I mean, if you watch any normal chef when they're making something like this dish, where you have onions and you have mushrooms.
You want to take your time with it.
Right, they're barely going over a medium heat. Maybe they'll go to a little bit of medium high, but when they start caramelizing the onions, I remember watching Gordon Ramsay videos, and they're talking about, you were causing the sugars to break down in the onions. So you need no more than a low to medium heat to make that happen. It's usually a low heat. It takes a while. But of course, Jack has no patience for these things, and he's really not a chef. He's not even a cook. He's just a guy with a YouTube video trying to show you folks how to make money on YouTube every Saturday morning when he feels like it.
Yeah, not even every week, because he made that clear at the beginning of this video. It's every Saturday, but maybe not every Saturday.
Well, don't forget, he still has to do his live chat.
Oh, yeah. By the way, speaking of
which he'll block you from.
Yes, he will block you from. We've gotten blocked before. Twice, yes, and but he's now cut that down. Like, that was about an hour, 2 hours on a Saturday morning. Now it's only going to be a half an hour, so I don't know what's going on. There's some very...
Maybe he's getting ready to turn it over to Jack Jr.
Oh, keep the legacy going.
Right.
That could be.
But of course, Jack Jr. it's going to be a rap legend, so...
Well, yeah, obviously. A white Christian rapper.
Indeed.
A+. But I think we'll cut it here and...
MCJC.
Ooh.
So yeah, bonus clips. You will find somewhere a link in our description here, a link to not only this week's episode of Cooking with Jack, which is the Southern New Hamburger University video that you're watching now, but as a bonus for you cinephiles out there, I'm including a link to the trailer of the 1986 comedic opus Hamburger, the Motion Picture.
I have not seen this movie, and he's explained it to me a couple times, and we watched the trailer, and it just seems like...
Well, it's 80s trash raunch comedy.
Yes.
It's basically... Somebody found out, and this was the great thing in the 80s, you could make an entire comedy movie over learning a fact. Because this is pre-internet. So any interesting fact, anything that would now become a meme for like 15 minutes, you could get 2 hours out of. A comedy writer could make a 2-hour movie out of that, and people would go to the theater like, what am I going to see? I don't know who's in this. What is this? I saw a trailer before another movie. And what it was a comedy writer in Los Angeles learned that there was a thing that McDonald's did, a managerial training camp that they nicknamed Hamburger University. All that was in about the summer of 1984. In the summer of 1985 or so, somebody created a skiing movie a skiing comedy called Hot Dog the Movie. So as a reaction to that, and this one fact that McDonald's actually has a hamburger university, they combine these things together to create the fictional Buster Burger University and set the movie Hamburger the Motion Picture at Buster Burger University to follow a series of fictional restaurant manager trainees.
Oh boy.
And comedy ensues, starring 1980s television icon Dick Butkus.
Well, that's random.
The best part is people have lost sight of this movie. I remember because I remember all bad movies. But people are going to find this movie through this in 2020 and find the lowest, broadest humor possible. Every stereotype that you would get canceled for now is in the trailer of the movie, much less actually watching the movie.
Oh, jeez.
In the tradition of the 80s, I mean, they go after everybody. Is there a comical Asian stereotype? You bet there is. Is there a hot-blooded Latin stereotype? There sure is. A swishy gay character? Of course there is. Are all the men toxic of masculinity? Of course they are. Is there one, ladies' man who chases all the ladies? Of course there is. They have a character who's run away to Hamburger University because she couldn't stand the convent anymore. And later in the video, she becomes the frying nun.
Well, I think we'll end it here.
It's a real bonus treat.
And we'll see you next time on Pink Chicken and
The Lazy Man!